Just had a 10-minute phone call with President Donald Trump where he had some of his most extensive comments yet regarding Elon Musk and Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The big takeaway from his comments on Musk, when I asked if their relationship is over, Mr. Trump said, "I would assume so." He also told me he has no desire to repair ties with Musk. And he said he's more confident than ever that the big, beautiful bill can pass because he thinks Republicans are now more unified because of how Musk treated him. The president also told me that Musk would face very serious consequences if he funded Democratic candidates in the next election. When I asked the president what those would be, he wouldn't say.
So I would love to know your opinion and what you found out last night about what is going on between Elon and Trump and what is this show that we're seeing on Twitter.
Yeah, of course. So first I'll say I had the opportunity to sit with Elon Musk about a month ago. It was a private briefing. It was a bunch of mainstream media reporters, ABC News, CBS, NBC, New York Times, Washington Post, and Regan. And that was awesome. And I sat right next to him and we got to talk to him for an hour about his time in the Department of Government Efficiency. And he came in laughing. He was trying to tell us jokes and he wanted us to tell him a joke in order to ask a question. And the White House did not let us bring our phones in or did not want us to have any service. And I was like, my mind is blank. My editors are going to kill me. I don't have a question. I don't have a joke. And then quickly USA Today was like, no, let's speed this up. We're not doing that. All that to say, when we got talking to him, I noticed that he was just very almost down in the dumps. I could tell he was frustrated and upset that he hadn't been praised as this champion, that his businesses were taking a hit, that his Teslas were being lit on fire. And so that made yesterday not as surprising to me, because what I heard when I spoke to my sources was that this isn't really about the big, beautiful bill. Elon Musk is going to tell you that he's upset about the big, beautiful bill. President Trump and Speaker Mike Johnson are going to tell you he's upset he didn't get the EV mandate as a part of the big, beautiful bill. But what my sources are telling me is that this has been months and months of frustration that's been building up, that Elon Musk is upset about the damage that has been done to his business. But he also wanted control over the White House and things that were happening in the administration. And he started to clash with cabinet officials. Marco Rubio wouldn't let him go into the State Department. He kind of got handcuffed a little bit at the Pentagon. Those are two things that annoyed him. He wasn't able to do his job. But the red line for Elon Musk was when he didn't get his NASA pick. He really wanted a certain pick for NASA. They told him that wasn't going to happen. He'd already really wanted an IRS pick. He already really wanted a CIA pick, didn't get those. So when he didn't get the NASA pick, it became really frustrating. And so what I think you're seeing now is just months and months of frustration building up and spilling out. And I think Elon Musk is a very smart, unique, successful man. It's almost really hard to comprehend how smart and successful he is. And so, of course, someone like that has unlocked something completely different. You know, he's incredible what he's achieved. And so I almost don't think that we're going to be able to understand him in full, because if we were, we would probably all be billionaires and have really successful businesses. So that, in short, is what we're seeing. I do think that there's hope for peace, and I do think if we know anything about Donald Trump, it's that he does forgive people, and he comes around eventually with people. And so I don't think that this is going to be a 3-year battle between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I think we'll see peace. I hope we see peace.
Is there a world in which these two transactional guys, Musk and Trump, figure out that it's better not to be fighting and come back together, or you think this
No, I think once Elon went so low in terms of talking about Epstein, and if we can stay on that topic for a quick second, look, I have extensive knowledge of Trump, being by his side for almost a decade and a half.
Right.
Let me dispel all of that notion. While he knew Jeffrey Epstein, and while, yes, he may be in the files in the form of Trump being in the black book, so were hundreds and hundreds of very name-worthy, influential individuals. I have zero knowledge of any relationship between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, and I would have seen it over the course of a
literally,
decade
because your prosecution was all about how much you knew, and your testimony to Congress was all about how much you knew.
I'm telling you, it's nonsense. It's to the best of my knowledge and everything that I know, it's not true. In fact,
I have to apologize for two things. The first of which is randomly calling for the impeachment of the duly elected president of the United States over a policy disagreement, this big, beautiful bill, which I support entirely. That's not okay. I mean, at least the Democrats had the common courtesy of making up the Ukraine hoax to then go after the president in his first term to impeach him. Elon Musk did so over a simple disagreement on a policy. And the second, and it just pains me to bring this up, is this slanderous accusation that somehow the president of the United States was a co-conspirator in a multi-decade sex trafficking ring of minors. The president is a father, a husband, and a grandfather. He has no association with Epstein whatsoever. He threw him out of his Mar-a-Lago club because he was a scumbag. And now to have Elon Musk drag this in the mud, it's not okay. As Americans, we are allowed to disagree on the substance of the issue, but ad hominem attacks have no place in the public square.
That's certainly true. I don't know that President Trump has always adhered to that particular philosophy, and I know your smirk actually confirms my thinking on that. But you also said that you're leaving the Doge movement after Musk's attacks on Trump. What was your final straw? My final straw was, look, for months now, Elon set expectations, 2 trillion, 1.5 trillion, 1 trillion. And if you take the numbers at face value on Doge.gov right now, it's 170 billion. Now that's real money. I think that Sesame Street in Iraq should have been defunded. That's about $1,100 a taxpayer as it stands right now. But the truth is the Doge movement ought to continue, and it will, with the cabinet secretaries like Secretary Hegseth and Secretary Duffy in their own respective agencies, identifying waste, fraud, and abuse, making the government more leaner and more accountable to taxpayers like you and me and your listeners at home. But the truth of the matter is that Elon Musk set expectations with the president, with me, and with the country that he did not fulfill. The Doge movement has to continue, and I'm eager to support that movement in a new light.